I'm Ashton Addison from Event Chain for Investmentpitch Media and FinTech News Network. And today on Blockchain Interviews, we have Dominic Hrabe, the co-founder of Evolv Events and Vegas Blockchain Week in the World CryptoCon. Dominic, thank you so much for being on the show. It's a pleasure to have you on today.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you, Ashton.
You're very welcome. So I know you guys have a lot of different things going on with Evolv Events, but I want to narrow it down to the World CryptoCon this time, the second annual blockchain event, which is near the end of October in Las Vegas. This year, the event is expanded into 4 tracks. I was there last year, and it was a great event, and I'm excited to hear a little bit about how you've grown, what are these 4 tracks, and how do you navigate the whole event?
Yeah, I appreciate that, Ashton. We've expanded considerably, actually, and one of the things we wanted to do is we wanted to engage a greater cross section of the entire blockchain ecosystem. Last year when we had the conference, we found that it was maybe an archetype or two that came to the conference, but we really sought that there's really a lot more to than just a couple different archetypes within the entire ecosystem. There's developers, there's investors, there's startups, there's entrepreneurs, and there's enterprise, right? And so with increased adoption, there's starting to be a lot of attention from the enterprise community. So one of our stages is purely dedicated to that and the enterprise infrastructure and what's going on in the adoption of blockchain there. So we have enterprise use cases like automotive with open I should say, mobility open blockchain initiative. We have supply chain, we have food safety, we have law regulation conversations there, as most conferences do. But we're really focusing on that element on that stage, and so we're really excited about that. A lot of financial fintech, and also the enterprise aspect. We also have a stage that's more of the decentralized stage, so featuring your startups, your developers, some early stage tech investing. That conversation is going to be right around that, and then we have mass adoption. So that's kind of a little bit more general catch-all term, but a lot of different strategies and dApps and development that's going in and fostering mass adoption in the space. And then finally, we have mining and infrastructure. And frankly, we believe that mining and infrastructure has become somewhat of a kind of relegated to the back seat a little bit. Everybody's kind of was focused on the beginning. I think it's making a comeback, and that's actually going to be probably one of the most interesting elements of our conference, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that, because without mining and infrastructure, there would be no adoption, right? So you really do need that. So it's great to see that you guys are breaking it down and you have a little bit of something for everybody, and it's all going to be going on at once at the Cosmopolitan. So I think it's going to be a pretty crazy event, but it's not just this one event, and you guys have built this into a whole Vegas blockchain week. So could you talk a little bit about, there's a few other events before, there's events after, and there's just events all the time. Can you give us a little bit more information?
Yeah, there's no real events after, so everything kind of culminates at WCC or World Crypto Conference. But the week kind of kicks off with Michael Turpin's Coin Agenda. I believe that starts on the 26th of the week, or 26th of October. And then there's the Litecoin Summit. We're really, really excited about what's going on there. They've attracted some really interesting speakers themselves with Anthony Popliano, who's also going to be speaking at WCC. Ron Paul's going to be there. So a lot of really exciting, headliners here are going to be speaking at Litecoin Summit. And then we have Crypto IQ, and it's just dedicated for those people that are interested in trading, right? So, those ones that are looking at, how can I make an extra buck, or how can I make an extra Bitcoin, if you will, right? And so we have some very interesting strategies that are going to be on display there. We have John Najarian of CNBC fame with Investitute. He's going to be kind of playing a large role at that conference, in addition to some of the other top traders in the entire industry. So, a lot of different events. We have some nighttime events that are going on, some VIP events. You have a Top Golf event. It's going to be some structured networking, which is always great, because, hey, you're in there, you're in town for, let's say, a week. You're going to be there. You're going to be rubbing shoulders with the right kind of people that you need to be rubbing shoulders with. And that's really what we're wanting to do, is position ourselves as kind of the counterpoint to consensus, right? So you have consensus on the East Coast in the spring, and you have World Crypto Conference and Vegas Blockchain Week and on the West Coast in the fall. And really you get everything you need from both conferences, right? The only difference with us is that you can virtually do everything under one roof. With consensus, you go to consensus and you have, the events that are satellite events, and there's no real all access pass. With us, you can do that. You can buy an all-access pass for the entire week, covers you for the entire week. It's affordable, and it's exciting, and it's Vegas, right?
Vegas is always exciting, Dominic. That's awesome. So, and Consensus is a very big event, and your guys' event was pretty big last year. What is the expected attendance for this year, and how much has it grown?
Yeah, so last year we had just up to 2,500 attendees. And we thought we did an amazing job for a first year conference. And this year we wanted to do even bigger. So we think we'll have between 3,500 and 4,000 people for this conference. And so we're really excited about that. Obviously want to keep growing the ecosystem and growing the space and continue to offer more opportunities for, different conference organizers to come in and kind of, share in the wealth a little bit. And just create, a lot more of a value-packed ad inside of a short, concise time period.
That's great. And with a giant attendance comes lots of large exhibits and sponsors as well. Could you tell us who are the top sponsors and exhibitors of the event this year?
Yeah, we're excited to have XYO. XYO is a really exciting project that's kind of locked arms with us. Voyager, Edge, Monero, Storage, some of the top ones. B2C2. We have some exciting stuff with them. Stansberry Research, actually, we've reached out to them, and they're going to be doing a private event with us. So they're one of the top financial newsletter publications in the world, and we're going to be working with Celsius, BXC Exchange, PowerBlock. A lot of really, really important, kind of picks and shovels companies, if you will. Litecoin's going to be obviously be represented there, Coin Agenda. So those are just a handful of the names for you.
Yeah, that's great. And I know Michael Turpin's a great speaker from Coin Agenda. You mentioned Anthony Pompliano, who's a great speaker and advocate. He's been on the news a lot recently, fighting with the traditional news people about keeping Bitcoin alive and well, and he's turning heads. So that's been great. Who are you most interested in seeing speak on the main stage this year?
Actually, I would say Pomp definitely is right up there. John Nigerian. I'm really excited I've actually talked to John a couple times in this process of booking him to speak. I'm really excited to see him. Brendan Ike, who's going to be speaking on our decentralized stage. I'm using a Brave browser, for Pete's sake, so I'm really interested to hear what he has to say. Brian Bellendorf we have Charlie Shrem. But some of the actual conversations that I'm most looking forward to, Ashton, is that, the tangible use cases that are occurring right now with blockchain. So I know I mentioned the automotive earlier, but they've created a vehicle identity standard utilizing blockchain, and I think that's groundbreaking. And so they're going to be talking in depth about that conversation, and we're going to have representation from Nissan, Renault, and the CTO, former CTO, not the former CTO, he was a former executive at Tesla, but he's a CTO of Mobi, and he's going to be speaking at that. That's going to be a really interesting conversation. We have David Packman with Venrock, which I'm really excited to hear. He's going to be speaking on a venture capital investing panel. So there's a lot that I could go over that I just, in the interest of time, I'll spare it. But I'm really enthusiastic about what we've got in store for the agenda.
Yeah, that sounds super exciting, and I know there'll be a lot of startups in the blockchain industry as well as developed companies, and some of these could be, the next unicorns or the next Uber once blockchain hits the mainstream here. And so, in your opinion, is it mainly startups at the event, or are there a lot of other investors and C-level people? What are we to expect?
Yeah, I think you're going to see a lot of startups still, right? You're going to see some more SMEs than you would have last year. It's small and medium enterprises. And then you're going to see some enterprise level enterprises, right? We're going to have some representation from IBM and Oracle and some of the bigger guys in the block. So you kind of have a breadth across the continuum. I'm excited because we have a lot of representation from the venture capital community. I've had a lot of interviews, or not interviews, but a lot of inquiries rather from family offices. So they're very interested in coming and participating and just attending.
Yeah, it's great to see the traction from outside of the crypto bubble and to see that there's more institutional interest and people are starting to catch on. So I'm really glad to see that that's happening. So do you guys have tickets left? How close is it to being sold out, and where can we get the tickets?
Yeah, we're not quite sold out yet. We are, close, but we're not quite sold out. We have, so you can just go to wcc.vegas or worldcryptocon.com. So whichever is easiest for you. I tend to go to wcc.vegas. You can go to vegasblockchainweek.com just for the list of events. You can see what everything's there. You can get an all access pass. The WCC ticket is $997. If you want an all access pass, that's a little bit more, but you can take a look at on our website for more information on that. But we feel that we've really packed in the value with what our product offering is. For being able to kind of come see somebody from the IMF speak about central bank digital currency, and then down the hall listen to Brendan Ike from Brave talk about talk to the developer community. And then Pump, again, speaking, who is, now almost a regular on CNBC, to be able to kind of see him and rub shoulders with him. We think $9.97 is an appropriate price, and the price is going to go up at if you were to just kind of come to the event and buy a ticket there. So you definitely want to get it as soon as you possibly can.
Yeah, that's great information. And what's one thing that you hope the attendees take away from attending this year's World CryptoCon?
For me, it wasn't until I actually got to an event, Ashton, that I saw how big and seismic this technology is. So I think that's kind of the thing, is where are we at now? And if you've been in a space for any number of years, or even a year, or half a year or so, and been to a conference or two, but just seeing the development along the way and see what's actually happening. For me, it's not just how blockchain is going to disintermediate finance. It's how blockchain is going to disintermediate so many other areas of our lives, supply chain, automotive, rewards, you name it. There's so many different things that it's going to disrupt. And for us to be able to showcase a lot of those different use cases is really rewarding to me. And I think that, for everyone, there's something at our conference.
That's great insight. And you're right, I'm most excited about the use cases that are in the non-financial sector, which will disrupt all of the other industries. And really, blockchain is supposed to disrupt anything that has transactions or data storage, which is pretty much everything at this point.
Yes.
So it's very exciting to see. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. I'll leave those links to the World CryptoCon tickets and more information in the description box below. And that's all the time that we have for the interview this time. But I'm looking forward to hearing a little bit more following up to the event, and hopefully I'll see you there.
Wonderful. Looking forward to seeing you, Ashton. Bye now.